I lived in the UK when I was little. Not so little that I don't remember it, but little enough that all my memories from back then seem like a dream. One of the things that seemed special to me was how much greenery there was in the London area suburbs compared to Tokyo. My family lived in a semi-detached house with a daddy-long-legs problem and a living room with too many doors, most of which were blocked by sofas. It came with lots of fancy furniture that had carved and varnished wood and glass doors and rusty knobs that looked like animal feet. It wasn't the best house, but it was such an upgrade from a small apartment on the outskirts of Tokyo. And fuck, was the garden ever a sight. The whole garden was surrounded by different little trees that made promises of flowers and fruit. Some grapevines, some figs, some lavender, and so many daisies to chain together. One particularly sunny afternoon, I decided to try climbing a strange tree with fruit that looked like grapes, except they didn't come in bunches. I found some branches to cling onto, shuffled my way up, and stared through the leaves at the tomato patch below. I reached out, plucked a fruit off the branch, and tried it. It was strange. Slightly bitter, sour, and not really like a grape. So I did what any kid would do. I gave some to my little sister. The little shit who was, back then, barely old enough to know which toys were inedible, gladly ate the fruits and walked away in pursuit of something more to eat. I climbed down the tree, eager to tell my mum that I had fed my sister a strange fruit that I couldn't identify, which I thought tasted bad. My mum panicked a little when she found out. She immediately called the landlord. Turns out they were harmless little gooseberries. But gooseberries weren't my biggest threat. Not at all. I was hospitalized in the aftermath of another berry hunt in the garden. My friend from school was over at my house, and we were picking some fruit to enjoy with tea. I tried the grapes. Too sour. I tried the figs. Too fuzzy. And then I remembered there was a blackberry bush in the far end of the garden. I dashed towards it, jumping over a tiny mound of dirt that was in my way. Anyway, it turns out I'm not so good at jumping over tiny mounds of dirt because I told my mum that I had sprained my knee. What actually happened was that I had fucked up a ligament or something in my knee, and my right leg had to be placed in a cast for half a year. Thanks, Blackberries. For a couple of months I had my leg in a full leg cast so that my knee would not bend at all. The nurses asked me what colour of plaster I wanted, and I couldn't decide, so I got a rainbow pattern of plaster. I got the rainbow cast, signed by everyone in my year 2 class. I guess they were worried that it hurt, but in truth it hurt no more than a sprained ankle, hence my sprained my knee quote. I was more excited to have a rainbow cast signed by my friends. I've never seen fresh blackberries in Japan. They're always hidden in frozen berry mixes as if the mere existence of blackberries was shameful. Statistically, I've only ever been hospitalized in a country with fresh blackberries. Perhaps I shouldn't go to a country where blackberries grow natively. I might run towards a blackberry bush and become incapacitated for half a year again.